You don't have to like, subscribe, comment. Let's talk about it. London Rumble right now. Crucial Vibes.
The African them Crucial Vibes sound and the big song.
Africa's not only making noise in Afrobeat, Africa's also making noise in sound clash, the heart and soul of reggae dancehall culture. Zimbabwe, Crucial Vibes, the UK's newest sensation.
Yo,
Yes, I am. Goodie, bless up.
yeah, bless up, man. You good?
I am so good. How you doing?
Yeah, man. I'm all right. I'm all right.
Goodie, I want to thank you so much for doing this, for taking the time to talk to me about your sound. Crucial Vibes. My first question to you, Goodie, is what really possessed you to build a bomber-clad sound in 2020?
We're fresh off the blocks, man. Well, really and truly, like in earnest, we started the sound during lockdown, so around around end of year towards 2020. I mean, I'd always been in and around sound, from Zimbabwe, but mostly it was 45s, just juggling 45s and all that. Not so much with doublets. Although, I had a fair share of a few splice that came around some years back, and that really discouraged me after a while, when I discovered they were just back songs. I stopped, basically. I just like, nah, rubbish. I didn't have a lot. It was only like 10, 15 dubs, but maybe about 5 of them were not legit,
Yeah, that's tough.
So
That's tough. That's tough.
yeah. So what happened was during the lockdown now, something in me just got inspired again. I just felt like, wow, this is exciting. I would like to be a part of this. And so I decided to get back into voicing a few more tunes, which I did. So I managed to get a few. And this time around, I said, not going through any doublings or nothing like that. So I only voiced if I'm direct with the artist. So those are the tunes that I voiced. Direct with an artist.
Absolutely.
So I'm
Absolutely.
So that's how it went, So and then towards about around 2020 end of year, I decided to join one of the online classes that was kept, Marcus Skies was keeping that, stayed with the Matic with Jais.
Yes.
Yeah. So I joined that one, and obviously we got a rust beating over there. We were not prepared. We didn't have. There was a lot that was wrong. From a lot of things. Basically, we just not prepared for it. We didn't have enough songs.
But you learned. It was a learning experience,
Exactly.
and you learned. But you learned.
I mean, seriously. I mean, because what happens is it wasn't so much that we didn't have songs, but all the songs we had were played before we could play.
Well, hold that thought. Hold that thought.
So by the time we got to play,
hold your thought
we
for
didn't
1
have
second, right? Hold that thought for 1 second. You just saying, like, when you got to play, all the other sounds already played out all the songs that you had. And this is the thing. You are 1 year sound. Most of these sounds, it takes 20 years to build a box to compete in a clash with 4 other sounds. So you're 1 year, there's 3 other sounds before you or 2, they play out everything. What do you do?
Yeah, I mean, naturally you're left to play only the other tunes that they haven't played, because you're trying not to play back any songs. So, and then it don't quite work out, because then you're out of sync in terms of if you've got a 1-2 juggling, you can't even do that because the tunes them played out. So that was lesson. Say, yeah. So the plan was to say, all right, now we understand. We've got to go and find tunes that people don't play on a regular. So that was the first lesson we got from that. And most importantly, because we're from Zimbabwe, the flavor is different. The flavor of reggae and dancehall, the songs that are big over here. So like I'm in the UK now. The songs that are big over here are not necessarily big back in Zimbabwe. So that's where we're coming from now. We're bridging that gap right now, where we decided, all right, we'll go for the internationally acclaimed songs, but we'll also keep our flavor from back home, because there's a lot of good reggae music that's not necessarily played everywhere else, but it's still good. And so we want that. That's the identity we're trying to bring really into it.
And crucial, I love that.
Yeah.
You bring in your own Zimbabwe flavor. And a lot of sounds don't
Correct.
do that. They try to copy other sounds, so you have a lot of carbon copies. You're the first sound from Zimbabwe. That's all Zimbabweans, all Africans out there.
There's a lot of sounds from Zimbabwe, you know, but like I'm saying, there's even a fraternity of clash sounds from Zimbabwe. But like I say, the flavor is different. It's not going to be, if you were to listen to it, you probably wouldn't recognize any of the songs because it's their own flavor. And remember, right now we also have Zim dancehall, which is a thing that's coming from Zimbabwe as well. It's dancehall, but on a Zimbabwean, so obviously singing vernacular language and all of that.
I like that you brought your faith. That's your identity. That's what you brought to this London Cash. Because I'm listening to your energy and your vibes. I'm like, wow. And I'm like, wow. I was like, you kept going. And I'm like, wow. I was like, do they win this thing? Because my mind was blown. My mind was like, wow.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah,
London
I mean,
Rumble, man. Wow.
We just thought we'll go for it. I mean, this was our first clash in a real live audience, and so we were probably the unknown on the night. So it was easy for us because then none of them were prepared for us, you know, because they were thinking about all the other sounds because they established. What? But because we weren't known on the night.
That's a great advantage for you. That turned out to be a great advantage for you because they underestimated you. From what I got, everybody was focusing on Diamonds and Exodus sound. Those were the two sounds, and everybody was like, those are the sounds. This little African is gonna go home real quick. But I heard there was something, and then, you know, the Diamond sounds put his head where it didn't belong. Typical Antiguan, you know, putting your head in other people's business, and it worked out for you greatly. It worked out for you.
Yeah. We deliberately tried to stay away from those arguments because we figured, all right, they're gonna shoot at each other, and we can just sneak quietly past that. You know,
just came up and just
focus on our. Yeah, we just needed to focus on our delivery and just try to entertain people. You know. Which is what we were going for, really. And again, this time around, because we played second, it helped us because, again, none of the so-called known songs were played out, like in the first round, for instance. So we got to play those songs, and everyone got upset because they're like, oh, wait, you're playing Mortimer, you're playing Barry, you're playing Lila Ike, in the first round. I'm like, well, it's a sound clash. We're playing music, you know.
Absolutely. So I loved it. Loved it.
Exactly. So, you know, it's songs that otherwise if they had listened to us the last time we had clashed, they would assume we didn't have those songs. But remember, I told you those songs were played out before we could play them. We still had them, but they were played before we could play.
Absolutely.
And this time around, we've got to play them.
Absolutely. I'm listening and I'm just like, oh my God. I'm like, does this sound win the clash? And like, what? I just couldn't get enough of it. I just could not get enough of it. And it was so fresh. And he talked about the Zimbabwean flavor. It was so new to my ears that I just kept getting drawn in and more. I'm like, this is the sound. Like, we're talking about you. You went all the way to the dub for dub. You did not win the trophy. But it's not about the trophy.
Yeah.
I can't even right now tell you the name of the sound who won the trophy.
Absolutely. And that's actually, you see what you're saying, and thank you very much. We really appreciate that. And that's been the energy we've got across the industry. We feel like the winners in many ways, because right throughout the clash, it felt like we were leading. We were getting so much strength from across, you know, because remember, it was full of soundmen from across, you know, across the UK. And every one of them was encouraging us. They were happy with our delivery. It was something fresh, like you're saying, and just surprised a lot of people that we were that prepared. And the thing is, like I said, we're just bringing a flavor that's mixed between what we're trying to do is we're not going to lose our Zimbabwean background flavor, you know, because, like I said, what's hot in Zimbabwe is not necessarily what's hot in the UK across. So we're trying to blend the two, because I've lived in UK long enough to know also what they like over here, and I've also lived out. So that gives me a perspective that's sort of different. And so the kind of music we're bringing, and there's a lot of it still to come.
I can imagine. I
We
cannot
hope it
wait.
will connect. Yeah, we hope it will connect, because it's difficult. You know, when you're voicing songs, you're hoping people will like it the way you intend it. Because sometimes you think of a song and you think, oh, okay, and people just don't take to it. But so far, the way we delivered has worked so far, and we feel like it's more or less along the same lines. So we shouldn't be too far off in terms of where we are heading, and everyone liked the vibe. So we're getting a lot of respect across the
Continue going. Let me ask you a question. Is it like, do you have a particular way you like to voice songs? Because you said you have it how you think it's going to sound in your head, and you're hoping that translates to the dub plate itself. But then again, you meet the artist, and maybe the artist doesn't quite understand.
Yes.
Do you have a particular like a formula? Like, don't tell me a
Right.
secret
So
that you like to go with.
no. So the way it's worked out has been almost like a natural selection, in the sense that, or because we're a young sound, we can't afford certain dubs just yet. For starters, it didn't make sense to invest big money when we're not even planning to go out and play. So we were going for some of the decent artists that we like, and really and truly, I voice what I actually like. I've got to
That's very
like the song
important.
myself.
That's very, very important. That's very, very important. I don't know why you would do anything besides voicing the sounds that you like, working with the artists that you like, because that energy comes
Exactly.
out in the dub plate.
That's correct. So that's why, you know, it's taken a while, and it's been a journey, because, you know, the idea took a while, because, you know, when I started voicing, I had one song on this one rhythm, another song, you know, so you start with one across, and to juggle those songs is difficult until I build out the rhythms. And that's what's confused a lot of people, because they had me when we first started late 2020, when we first came on the scene. And then when they listen now, they're surprised. They think, but they didn't realize there was a plan. We recorded the first set of dubs and then we're filling them in now. We're adding to them. And it's
Yes, you're
building up to a
building.
nice
You're
juggling on
building.
each rhythm.
Yes.
And we've built out so many rhythms. Right now, what we aimed to do is that we should be able to go for any rhythm within the dub box, and it should be a vibe. Any rhythm. It
Absolutely.
doesn't matter what we go for, it should be a vibe. That's the target.
What do you think your best juggling is right now that you like the most in the dub box?
See, that's the thing. I don't really have a favorite, because what happens is we build out. You know, you put a 5-6 songs on a rhythm, and you think that's your favorite, and then you start on something else. So
It's like
it's always
children. It's like
evolving.
kids. These are my kids. I don't love one of my kids more than I love my other kids. I love all my kids the same.
Yeah, that's it. Like, so I always love them, but obviously I always tend to like what I've voiced the latest. Like, so what I'm working on, the freshest, it's what I tend, because that's what I'm playing in my car every day.
That's what's
And
in your
then, because
head.
that helps me to
That's what's
think
fresh
about,
in your head.
yeah, and I also need to think about what to add on it, what I need. You know, I feel like, okay, so we need a couple DJs, couple singers, which artists can we add, you know, that kind of thing. So that's been the process so far. And now there's just way too much music right now, that I actually feel right now we're gonna start slowing down in terms of what we're voicing, and concentrate more on getting the next caliber artist, because that's what's been the challenge, you know. And also I deliberately, because people will say, well, you don't have a Buju or a Mavado. yes, and we know we don't have it, but that's the plan. It's deliberate. And we're not going to voice Buju unless we know this is Buju we're voicing.
I'm saying there's only one way to voice a Buju that you 100% know that's Buju, is you jump on that plane and you go to Jamaica and you sit in the studio and
exactly.
Buju.
So that's it. So that's what I'm saying. So because obviously the level that we're trying to get to means we are trying to get very expensive artists next. So because of that, the risk is higher. So
absolutely,
we're not going to bother voice unless we're 100% certain, like I said. And certain artists are hard to get a link just to organize that. But like I said, you know, I mean,
that's a challenge, but that's also what makes this whole sound I think stay exciting. You know, that adds to the excitement, to the drama.
Yes. So yeah. So right now, obviously, we're limited on that front with what people are calling the so-called big songs. But that's the thing I was trying to explain, that while Bounty Killer and Buju are big artists, not all of them are played regularly in a dance. If you go to Zimbabwe, for instance,
absolutely,
they're not necessarily. There are some very obscure artists that are doing very well in those circles,
and that's your Zimbabwean flavor.
Correct. So there's a lot of artists that we feel do very well. They just haven't got the same exposure, and we're trying to bring that to the forefront. We'll go for those artists. We'll go for they may be unknown to everyone else, but that's what we're trying to do. We want to bring that to the forefront and say, well, we think this is a good tune too. You know, it's not well known yet, but see what that gives us is whenever we go. That's why I'm never going to be worried about going into any clash, because I know that 50% of the songs that we voiced are never going to be played because no one cares about them, but we think they're good. So it's how we then blend them with the other tunes so it's that perspective that we're trying to bring, you know.
Wow, that's amazing. But okay, so tell me about the dub for dub experience for you.
So here's the thing. I literally did not prepare for dub for dub because I never anticipated we would get into dub for dub. So what happened now, we have so many good songs that we're going to play. And believe me on that. We have so many good songs. But what happened was, so here's what happened. You know, on the night, because of pressure and everything, when they say we're in tune for tune, and we were first to play as well. So we thought, okay. And because we thought we were leading the dance from the start, really, in terms of the juggling the rounds, we thought we were okay. So we decided to play the first song we went for was Lloyd Park's Officially, you know. We say we're officially killing you because, you know, we thought we'd done the job. That didn't kind of connect with him because then he played Anthony Johnson and won that round. And so he went 3-0 up. But we had so many other prepared for tune. I was literally picking the songs as I was selecting. So I had a folder which has about 60 vintage songs, like, you know, tune for tune songs. And I was picking from there. It wasn't prepared. There was nothing pre-planned. So I picked literally whatever I came across first is what I played. So it wasn't like there was a strategy where I put aside maybe 10 songs that we thought would be the best songs. You see what I mean? Which we could, in hindsight, have done that.
Let's talk about the pressure, because you're going through. What did you feel any pressure as the clash was going on, besides when you got the tune for tune? Did you feel any pressure at all? Any?
Not at all. It was exciting. We were enjoying ourselves. It was just nice that the crowd was reacting and responding to our vibe like that. We had, mind you, we had our own fans in there, and by the way, most of them are also soundmen. They got their own sounds, and they were supporting our sound. And so look out for them. There's a lot of Zimbabwe sounds that will be coming through. What we're just doing is we're you know, I feel proud that we're breaking those barriers and getting out there. But there are a lot of good selectors and good sounds that are coming out of Zimbabwe. And then there will be, I no doubt in the near future you'll be hearing about them. And so most of the guys came through to support us, but it wasn't just our fans who were supporting us; it was everyone. So that was reassuring, just to give us the confidence that wow, we must be doing well, because the whole place was just reacting to our vibe, and that was wicked.
You burned the
Yeah,
burn the
can't wait to
place
do it
down. You
again.
burned
Can't
the
wait.
place down.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I mean, we can't wait. Right now, we're itching to go again. Right now, we're feeling like, well, we've got to do it again.
You know,
And it sounds good.
it's that feeling of, of you being in the business and the sound clash. And I told somebody, sound clash and the whole experience, it's worse than crack. And I've never tried crack. But that euphoria and the things you do, is like, it has to be worse than crack.
Yeah, you're right.
It's a
You're absolutely
drug.
right.
It's
I
a
mean,
strong, powerful, potent
it
drug.
is. It is. And that's the thing. Like for me, like I said, during the lockdown is when I really, I was like, yo, you know what? I started feeling like how I used to feel when I was a little kid, back in Zimbabwe, listening to, back in the cassette days, the sound, because we used to listen to all the clashes from cassette back
What
then
clashes
in the
were there? What
90s.
clash? These
So,
were the.
I mean, I've always listened to reggae. I mean, so I loved, particularly I would say when I was old enough in the early 90s, I was listening to a lot of Penthouse. If you remember the Penthouse series where they used to do the Penthouse celebration, up to
Yes.
now, it's one of my favorite. I've Penthouse celebrations, volume 1 to 5, which I
Wow.
listen to regularly, where they're the selector and some they used to record, and they would have live artists as well as 45s playing on the night. That kind of juggling there. That was like really inspiring for me, and I always wanted to do that. I remember I used to mimic that. Even when I got the 45s, I used to try and speak like just copying that, And then there were other sounds again in Zimbabwe, and this is where I was saying we start getting the Zimbabwe flavor now, because the sounds in Zimbabwe were playing the songs that were loved within the local areas, and and it turned out that those songs are actually not big everywhere else. They're just big in Zimbabwe, and they're all from this music from Jamaica, but it's the rare artists, because what was happening was every selector was trying to find that rare song,
Yes.
because you're looking for, because everyone's got the same song,
Of
and you're
course.
trying to find something that's different. And that's where the rare music started coming into picture, where people would go for something different. And that's always been my mentality. So I grew up on that kind of setting, that scenario where we find a rare song, or an obscure artist, unknown, totally unknown, and you try to make that a hit. And that was the strategy in Zimbabwe. So when you think about it, in many ways, it's almost similar to dubplate culture, because that was the idea. You're trying to find the unique song where everyone is playing the same songs, and you want that one that is going to be different, which is probably why the dubplate culture started, because you're looking for a special song that's different from everyone else. And so that's where really a lot of my influences come from, and it's many sounds, across Zimbabwe. We have, but one major one I would mention is there's a sound from Zimbabwe called Smolex. You've
Hmm.
probably heard of them because they're quite big, from back in the day, and now they have other sounds in the US, and they're working together with some sounds in the US and some in Jamaica. They are now one big sound now, and so they were the first sound in Zimbabwe to play like proper doublets, playing a full set of doublets, and that was quite inspiring. But because Zimbabwe is a poor country, we never really imagined we could do that too, until I moved to the UK. But it was still too expensive anyway, and I couldn't
It's
I
still
couldn't
too
afford it.
expensive. It's still too expensive. Um,
Exactly.
Goody, tell me about Zimbabwe, former Rhodesia, and how reggae music came to Zimbabwe?
So Zimbabwe has all throughout from the 80s to the 90s. Remember, Zimbabwe was almost endorsed, if you like, because we had Bob Marley come for the independence of Zimbabwe, you know. So from there, reggae just grew right across the ghettos and the streets of Zimbabwe. And so there are lots of sound systems. And he was there, you know, just celebrating with the Zimbabweans on our independence. And so that was a big moment for pretty much all of Africa, but like mostly for Zimbabweans. And then from there, I would say reggae music literally just stayed in Zimbabwe because there was always Bob Marley and any other reggae artist. There was always reggae playing, but certainly from that period, reggae grew its roots, and because a lot of people became familiar with Zimbabwe because of those situations, especially. And I grew up in one of the like real ghettos. It's called Chitungwiza, where I grew up, and there was always sound systems there, you know. So, you know, left, right, and center, you're listening to someone booming a sound system there. You know, they string up just the way they do in Jamaica, you know, where, you know, they have sound systems playing outdoors, all of that.
That's the
And
vibe. Outdoor is the vibe. That's the vibe. But there's nothing
yeah,
that beats that outdoor vibe.
yeah. So I grew up around that.
I like 45 clashes, and I think 45 clashes is crucial to developing into a wicked selector. Because if you know
Absolutely.
45s, you know music. And if you know music, you know what dubs to catch. Unfortunately,
Exactly.
I come from a culture in Antigua where they get the dub plate and not know the 45.
Yeah. And that happens a lot. I've seen that a lot because a lot of people get confused when they, and I have other friends within the industry now, and they're quite surprised with my knowledge of reggae music. And that's because from the 45 days, I've got a very rich knowledge of reggae music.
You have a very rich knowledge of music. It's music.
Exactly. So, and that's from the 45 days. And so right now, that's why it's easy for me to just think, all right, I'm going to get this artist. I know they've got a big tune like this, you know. And some, when other people wait to find that big tune when someone else busts it, we're trying to actually bring forward our own tunes, which we feel, well, this is good enough, you know. So we're getting it on doublet now, but really and truly, it was big on 45 back in Zimbabwe, and so we have a lot of that coming through, and you will hear a lot of that in our selection. We select a lot of songs that were big on 45. I'm just bringing them on doublet. That's all I'm doing. So
you're bringing the murderation. You're bringing the murderation, and please continue.
And remember, what happened was I was trying to get the tunes that would inspire, because I actually thought I would be playing to Zimbabweans only. So I was getting doublets that are tunes that they know. But when you get to play to an international audience, then you realize, all right, okay, so what you do? So we have to get the right balance, because we know, of course, you've got to have international appeal, but you've got to have your own flavor as well. And I think
yes, your
that's the identity.
Flavor. Every sound needs a flavor, and that's what, you know, that separates you from the other sounds.
Correct. That's what we're trying to bring. We have a long way to go, and we are well aware that this is only the beginning, but it's been a great start. The response,
amazing. So don't be humble.
Like right now,
some should not be humble. This is the one place men should not be humble.
No, I mean, look, just this interview is testament to that. You know, where we're getting a lot of attention from international abroad and from very influential people like yourselves. And
don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't go for my head.
Oh, yeah,
you're sending them for my head now, Goodie.
No, but look, it's whatever we're getting right now is more than what we could ever hope for. And you've definitely given us that voice in the other region as well, where people are not so familiar with us will start knowing about us. They can,
They're gonna know. They're gonna find out. Some will find out the hard way. Some will find out the hard way, and others will just find out.
Yes, exactly. I mean, that's the thing. We right now we're certainly buzzing from the clash. We're still feeling the love from the industry right now. We're still getting a lot of attention, and some of it like unbelievable. Like honestly, I'm just glad we managed to introduce ourselves to the world, and we've been received really well. So yeah, man.
Congratulations.
Thank
Congratulations,
you.
Gritty Crucial. Gritty Crucial. I'm going to do what I do every time. I'm going to give you the final word. The floor is yours. Please say anything you want to say. Big up who you want to big up. Gritty, Zimbabwe. I can't wait for your next
Yes.
clash. I can't
Well,
wait for more.
thank you, thank you. I mean, I'd like to big up all of Zimbabwe people. I mean, I've got a strong team in the UK. A big up Templar over there online. That's one of my youth over there. Dancehall Defender Sound. They're coming through. Watch out for them. They're really good. They have a different vibe again. It's one of the things that I'm talking about, where there's gonna be a lot more coming through, and we'll be supporting them to get out there as well. And I would like to big up pretty much everyone that's been supporting us. We're really humbled, and we respect the platforms that we've been invited to so far. It's just been amazing, and thank you so much for having us on your platform, mate. Thank you very much.
One last final question.
Yeah.
So you're saying the Africans are here. Not just the Africans are here. Zimbabwe is here. So this is what I'm getting now.
Yeah.
The crocodile, the Sudanese crocodile. Dynamic.
Yeah.
Yes, some serious competition.
Absolutely. I mean, look, we respect him. We're far off at the moment, but definitely that also means, we'll buck up one day. Maybe
I bet you
in
will.
20
I
years.
bet you will. No. 20 years. No. Goodie. No. And when that buck up happens, crucial vibes, dynamic.
Yeah.
I'll be front row and center.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I don't think we're quite ready for dynamic. Dynamic is kicking ass right now. So we're probably, with baby steps. We're not gonna try.
You're a lot closer than you think you are. You're a lot closer than you think you are. And it's a great thing. It's a great
Yeah.
thing. Dynamic
Yeah.
is a dynamic.
Exactly. He's a great entertainer. And by the way, he's one of those people who really inspired me as well, because I used to have during the lockdown is when I also got to have a personal relationship with him, where we would chat and have a word, and just learn from him. So that was
Absolutely.
quite a good thing. But I don't know if he was quite aware that we were serious about it to that level. Maybe so
He's aware now.
Yeah.
He's aware now.
Yeah, but respect. Yeah.
Goodie. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Give
Thank
thanks,
you.
give
Thank
the
you so
high
much for
thanks,
that.
and big up
Take
yourself.
respect. Yes.
Maximum every time. Yes, I.